97 points for the two-time defending champ. And now Roman Krennikov trying to get the crowd behind him as he's holding up Pat Vellner. Vellner on the left side of your screen out of Canada. Krennikov is in, and Roman Krennikov with another solid performance here in test number 3. That'll be good enough for 5th place, 440.23, and now here comes Pat Vellner. Vellner, 6th place in the test, 448.38 seconds. And now Noah Olson, your leader on the floor, 2 minutes to go before we hit the 7-minute time cap. Noah Olson, one of 3 men in the field who is making his 10th straight appearance here at the CrossFit Games. Cole Sager and Bjorn Carl Gudmundsson, the other 2. Olson gets safely through that final section. .29.12 seconds for Noah Olson. That would be good enough for 12th place in test 3. Jeff Adler in the gray shorts, trying to be the next man across the finish line. Battling with Dallin Pepper. And Adler is in. He'll take 5th place in the heat, 15th place in the test, just under 6 minutes, 5:57.78. Dallin Pepper and Lazar Jukic still on the floor, along with Sam Plot and Brent Fikowski. Pepper makes it. Brent Fikowski and Sam Plot and Jason Hopper all on the floor. Hopper is still down on the pull-up ball. Final 10 seconds before we hit the time count. Fikowski's just going to run out of time. Justin Medeiros will finish 2nd place in the test. He wins the heat, 403.63 seconds. He will add 97 points to his total. That is huge as he will move his way up the overall standings. 2nd and final heat, they are all trying to chase down Jack Farlow's top time of 12:54.31 seconds. The leaders will be right in the middle of the field in lanes 9, 10, and 11. Jay Crouch is in 2nd place, and if you had that picked, you are related to Jay Crouch. And for more on him, here's Mike Arsenault.
Well, Sean, you should have seen the megawatt smile on Joe's face when I reminded him that he was sleeping on the day 1 podium position. He's been doing CrossFit. His first open was at 14 years old back in 2013. Didn't have a great performance last year. What the difference was, this year he spent 3 weeks in Nashville to acclimate to the heat and humidity. That's what he's attributing to his great performance through 1 day of competition.
And there is Jay Crouch. So far, nothing outside of the top 10 and 2 finishes of 4th or better. Next to him, Roman Krennikov and then Spencer Panchik, your top 3.
Well, Jay Crouch, 28th last year in Alpaca. Spencer Panchik, 24th last year. Roman won the whole thing, so they've got their work cut out for him today.
Now, 2 guys who are looking to make up some ground as well are right next to each other, lanes 13 and 14. We'll keep an eye on Brent Fikowski and Patrick Vellner. We are underway. First sled push. Again, 544 pounds, 246 kilos that they are pushing right now.
What I like in this sled push right at the start, it's like you're in a boxing ring and they ring the bell and you get punched in the face in the first second. And then you see how people react to that. We've seen people push the sled, not move. Game plan needs to change immediately.
Dallin Pepper and Roman Krennikov are the 2 men in front. And they will be the first to unload their first 2 70-pound kettlebells, so they lighten the load a little bit. And we'll start on their next push. Pepper is about a sled length ahead of Roman Krennikov right now.
You see Pepper he has his hands on the handles, jamming his arms up together in that base position, which can greatly fatigue the shoulders and grip going into the legless rope climbs. Where Roman, on the backside, has his shoulders on and his hands drop to the side. So it's going to be less of an impact on his upper body going into the rope climbs for this first round.
Jürgen Carl Gudmundsson has crept up now, and he is on the lead pace along with Krennikov and Pepper.
BKG last year, 12th place in Alpaca. And there you have it. Right side of your screen is Pepper, hands high, really compressing that upper body position where Roman, arms dropped. Right, so not a lot of blood getting pumped in the arms, not a lot of blood or fatigue going into the forearms. So we'll see how we've seen athletes change their technique as the test unfolds.
Gudmundsson, Krennikov, and Pepper will be the first men done. And now James Sprague is there as well. Brent Fikowski finishing up. And Roman Krennikov, along with Dallin Pepper, heading to the rope. Jürgen Carl Gudmundsson taking a swig of water, and he's going to get started on his first two legless rope climbs. Here comes Brent Fikowski in the middle of the blue shorts.
We said that Roman won Alpaca last year, which was the beginning of his campaign to get that second place position. In fact, that was when Roman actually scored more points than anyone in the back half of the weekend. And when he was asked about how would you have done with the climbs, he would have been better. Now hands for this seated, feet must leave before the hips. Hands must start below the start line. At the top, both hands clearly over, and then control the descent until hands get below, and then you can drop.
The 5 rep mark, Krennikov will be done. And Krennikov is in the lead here. Brent Fikowski has now moved into second.
Think about the technical aspect of these seated climbs, and then you talk about Brent Fikowski, and he's notorious for meticulously dissecting a legless rope climb or a hybrid rope climb. A couple years ago, we saw him do that leg wrap that no one did on the hybrids, where it's legless until the leg. So Fikowski has been working on these, and honestly, if you're an athlete that have games aspirations and you have not been practicing this test in particular, then I think you need to go back to the drawing board in your games prep.
17 is the number that Roman Krennikov is looking to hit. And then he will load up his sled and push it forward to the next line. Brent Fikowski staying even with Roman Krennikov.
So last year Fikowski was 11th. Pat Fellner actually took 3rd. As you said in the previous heat, Jack Farlow's 12:54. The winning time last year was 6:23. That is how different this test is this year.
Roman Krennikov will be the first man to start his sled push back down the field, now loaded with 2 70-pound kettlebells, 31 kilos each. And that sled is 124 pounds, 56 kilos. And here comes Brent Fikowski now in second behind Roman Krennikov.
Fikowski using that same arm position that Krennikov is using. Usually when it comes to something technical, if I'm on the field, I'll just peek over.
Just look what Brent's doing.
What's Brent doing over there? All right, maybe I'll try that.
Here comes Pat Fellner, who is now in a fight for 3rd with Dallin Pepper, as Pepper passes him. So Fellner's going to fall back to 4th, and Jürgen Carl Gudmundsson is pressuring him. Yeti, the official cooler and drinkware of the Noble CrossFit Games. At Yeti.com to learn more. Roman Krennikov is on his first of 2 rope climbs, on his second of 3 sets that he has to complete on that implement.
We talked about the recipes being no missed climbs, and sometimes it's hard to judge how your grip is going to respond rep to rep on the legless climbs, and it's hard to do, but it's more beneficial to maybe, it's like if you're unsure, rest an extra 10 seconds more than you had planned to, versus get 3/4 of the way up the rope and realize you started too soon.
Brent Fikowski getting set to start his second and final rope climb
that leg swing from Fikowski on the right, and that's just to gain some momentum.
Well, the women are coming up next, and we will have the 6-time fittest woman on earth in the booth with us. Tia Tooney will join us for the first heat of the women's alpaca coming up here in a little bit. Roman Krennikov and Brent Fikowski neck and neck. Brent Fikowski in 6th place overall. He was 10th in ride the opening test, and then finished 3rd in the pig chipper, but in the inverted medley he was tied for 23rd, so trying to get back on track here, move himself closer to a podium spot.
And that's a hard placing to judge because it was just so skill-based that, you know, a little misstep here could be 5 to 10 places. I think Fikowski actually missed at the very end of the last implement, lost about 30 to 40 seconds, and a couple people passed him.
The 32 rep mark is when Krennikov and Fikowski will be able to load up their sled with 2 more kettlebells and push it forward. And they'll go back to start round 3. 47 total scored repetitions.
Vellner's making a move, along with Pepper and Adler. And the one thing with Vellner, great at pulling, great gymnast, strong, but that overhead pressing fatigue has always been a little bit of an issue for him coming down to this. And now we don't have a lot of upper body pressing, but you do have a lot of upper body interference with the sled push, with the clean and jerks, especially with the legless climbs. So him managing that work and just keeping him out of the red is going to be something that Pat just needs to be very aware of.
Fikowski, that was a smart move from him. As he dropped it to the ground, he put them on the sled, and now Brent Fikowski, because of that great transition, has taken the lead from Roman Krennikov.
Good sled flat, it's not bobbing up and down with each step. Nice and flat to the bottom.
Fikowski is done, Krennikov is done. Now back to the Zeus rig for 2 final rope climbs. Pat Vellner is now loading his sled. He looks to stay in 3rd place here in the heat. Time to beat again from Jack Farlow in heat number 1. 12:54.31 seconds. Dallin Pepper is back on the sled. Now Pepper has overtaken Vellner for 3rd as Fikowski and Krennikov head back to the rope. Dallin Pepper solidly in 3rd place as Vellner took a break. Now Jeff Adler has started his sled push. Vellner stopping again.
Vellner's actually, I think that's a strategic break for Vellner, so that he doesn't redline a little bit. He's been doing that. And when it comes to sled pushes themselves, is that maybe you feel when your legs really start to burn, I'm just going to take a break, let it flush out, and then move back into the press. Those look more like strategic breaks for Vellner than fatigue breaks.
Krennikov and Fikowski both getting to work on their first of their final 2 road climbs at the same time. Fikowski done just ahead of Krennikov. Here comes Dallin Pepper back to the rope. Vellner working his way back, as is Jeff Adler.
This last climb, so important between Fikowski and Krennikov. When to go? Are you gonna go? Do I go with you? Reminds me of the old legless in 2013 with Rich, Troy, and Hendren. Maybe do a little fake out.
Here goes Roman Krennikov.
It's a gamble. It's a gamble.
Krennikov got there. And Roman Krennikov back in the lead ahead of Brent Fikowski, who has yet to get on that crash pad. Krennikov taking a look over his shoulder to see where Fikowski is. And Roman's going to take his time getting back to his final 12 kettlebell clean and jerks. Fikowski still has not started his climb, so Roman Krennikov has a little more than 2 minutes to chase down Jack Farlow's top time, but more importantly for him, he is leading everybody who is immediately behind him in the overall standings and now looks to tighten his grip on that top spot on the leaderboard. Now Fikowski, meanwhile, is on his final rope climb, as is Pat Vellner. So Vellner has closed the gap with Fikowski a little bit here. And a no rep for Pat Vellner in the background. He did not show control on the way down. That is going to be costly for Pat Vellner.
Fikowski doing his best Ace Ventura 2 impression. 6 rope climbs are too much.
Krennikov is halfway through his final set, and he got right to work as soon as Brent picked up those kettlebells.
Oh, wow.
47 total scored repetitions here in that final side push. Krennikov is done.
Wow.